All right, this is what my lawn looks like. We are going to be doing a full overseeding, reseeding video. I have short grass, so it's gonna be a little different than other people's, and then we got a lot of patchiness here. This is gonna be my full guide that you guys can probably use, but I'm also going to use when I forget. We're gonna be using striped Seedco perennial ryegrass and shade grass because the backyard has a whole bunch of shade. What we do to start off, okay, cut the grass, cut it short. We need to cut it again with that. And then what we're going to do is dethatch it all. And we've already dethatched it with the pin attachment on my Ryobi dethatcher. And then we're going to swap it out to this, a proper dethatcher, and get in there so that, you know, the grass seed can get in there. And then once that's done, we're going to take we just got a huge bag of top seeding, overseeding soil mix, soil sand. So we're going to spread that out everywhere nice and evenly with this. And then we are going to use this here to spread the grass seed. Then after that, we are going to, well, I guess we're going to use that to get the soil here. Then we're going to brush it all in together, the seed into the soil, and then level it again. Starter fertilizer. Fertilizer is in. Now we're going to just water it pretty good and then peat moss it, okay? Then after that, we're going to go get peat moss and put peat moss on top and keep it damp for the next week so that it can germinate. The ground temperature is above 10 degrees. If you put a food thermometer in for more than about 2 inches deep, that's where we need to be. We're not going to have any more cold weather. Then I can also use this on tough parts like here to break up the soil if the dethatcher doesn't do a good job. All right, so that was the process. This is what it looks like after I added a little more soil to that corner. And this is about 2 weeks after it's just starting to germinate because I had to really wait for the sun to come out. It's just been over 2 weeks. If we get closer, we could see what the growth looks like. Not incredibly thick, but still pretty good. If we come up to the front here where it was really bald, you know, that filled in nicely, especially here, and I put more seed down, I think because I put soil on top. So everything that isn't doing great, I'm gonna get this tool here, go over, drop more seed down, and then put a little bit of Viva Lawn Repair over. Here, let's see what it's gonna look like. That, right? So the seeds can get in there, the lightest bit of soil on top. And then now that it's warm again, we should be good. And that might have been because it got a little cold after I put the seeds down, but overall looking pretty decent. Okay, I went over it. See, it didn't affect the grass that's already there. There's like this spot here we'll go over. It's hard with one hand. And yeah, then we'll hand bomb our stripe seed and just blast it in there to help really fill in that gap. I don't know if this is the right thing to do, but you guys are learning with me, okay? Anything that didn't grow well is gonna get blasted with a handful. And everything else will be fine. Right? So this video will be perfect timing for fall grass seeding. Okay, then we take our Viva Lawn Repair and we'll throw the lawn there. Right? Like just enough to cover it. We'll brush it in, or should we brush it in first? Or is that good? I don't know. This is desperation mode. All right, so we're gonna have more patches like that, but we're not gonna worry about it. And then in 2 weeks, it'll be perfect, I think. All right, bunch of seed and soil in the ground. I'll spread it out when it dries a bit. I gotta go pick up my kid, but let's hope that fills in the gap, and then I'll just do nothing for the rest of the summer and water it regularly. 6 a.m. Oh, I brushed it all in. We're watering it so that it germinates today while it's nice and hot and sunny. Right, little man? Okay, the soil is spread. This is all that new growth, which actually looks great. And then we're gonna try to fix the patches where it didn't come in super thick. Watered it all. It's gonna be hot today. Hopefully it just germinates right away. This is about 2.5, 3 weeks after the first thing we did. All right, fantastic news, everyone. Grass is growing in that patch that I did the second round with. I think the key really is to not put the seeds in until a day before it gets nice and hot and sunny for a few days. And to make sure you don't just use a sand soil mix, you use a soil only mix. And then let's check over here too. Yeah, lots of little germination there. And then this patch here, we got it all growing. Now it's time to stripe my lawn. All right, so like a month later, this is the grass, this is the lawn. That patch is mostly covered, that patch is mostly covered. So what we're gonna do now is put some stripes left to right, because that's where the sun is. And that'll be the end of my lawn journey for this year, for the spring until the fall. That's that filled in spot. This part didn't do that well, but it's because I did it the wrong time, too cold, didn't water enough. But overall, it filled in pretty good. Like even this part with more shade, filled in a lot nicer. All right, there's some stripes with the Owlet mower. All right, a month and a half later, it's July the 6th. It was better and then it kind of deteriorated. As you can see, we got a lot of yellow dead stuff from the heat and water. I think this part is very dry, like it needs to be aerated more, where the stuff did a lot better. And I noticed that I used soil sand mix. I think I just should have used soil, because the soil sand, like a lot of the sand was just left over and I don't think it did well enough. This part here did really well, maybe because it gets so much shade, maybe because it doesn't get stepped on, but that all looks really nice. So I think maybe heat and too much sun and the soil not absorbing water was part of the problem. So this time I'm going to use a roller to roll soil on in the fall to really make it go better. Part here grew in nicely. This part, you'll remember, was very patchy. We got a lot of patchiness here. Look at it now, that's pretty solid. If you think about how patchy it was before, this is pretty good. I need to aerate it, I think, because this ground is very hard. I used a little bit of aeration, but you know, I think the grass kind of died a little bit too from the heat, so it should come back in the fall. Yeah, overall, it came out pretty nice. Next time, I think I'm just gonna use just a soil, no sand mix. You know, in the back here, this all turned out pretty good. I think it was pretty rough before in the time lapses. This is the sod I put down. It didn't do well, but I put soil over it and some seed, and I don't know. I got a before clip when it was all flooded earlier in the year. Look at it now, this stuff's all doing well. This is all the fescue stuff. That turned out pretty nice. And then along this edge here in the backyard, I don't know if I have a before for it, but it was all toast. This whole part was just nothing. And this is all from seed. So that came out pretty nice. This again, I think, is a dry spot that just needs to be aerated and a whole bunch of new soil added. And this is the backyard under the tree. I think I've got a nice little before clip of how messed up it was from animals eating grubs, I guess. But that turned out pretty good. It's all fescue mix, a little thinned out. I think what I'm gonna do is aerate it with like those shoes and really get a lot of seed in there for the fall. And then this is where that sandbox used to be. And that filled in pretty nicely. Still a lot of sand there, so I think I'm gonna do a more soil heavy thing for the fall planting season. But yeah, it all turned out pretty good. Reasonable for only using starter fertilizer, no fertilizer after that, because kids and chemicals. This part's super dry, so I probably should dig that out and fully reseed it too. Yeah, I mean, I think that's as good as I could have done. What I should have done different, I guess my biggest takeaway is soil instead of a soil sand mix. Aerate to make sure the ground can take it, because there's some bad spots. Like really get into those bad spots where you know it's dead every single year. lots of seed, cover it all with soil. Don't have any exposed seed because anything that was exposed didn't work out well. And then a lot of peat moss, more soil. Even distribution with the roller. Wait for sun the day before you seed, even though it's hard with a family and stuff. But you know, the backyard I did 2 weeks after I did the front, and they started germinating at the same time because there was no sun for like the 2 weeks since I put out the front stuff. But yeah, good luck. Let me know how it goes. Let me know what I did wrong. This is a one fertilizer application kind of setup because I got the kids running around and stuff. So hope that helps. I'll work on it for next year to make it more clear and better.